Okay, so some information. Again, it's July 2024. So I had some ideas on maybe what I'm going to talk about in the future. And, you know, I've got some few different kind of ideas with different energies and stuff like that. So, of course, I'm going to be talking about, I assume, issues that are, sensitive or that I find necessary to talk about. Let's just say that. And talking about, news events in the country. So for now, it's going to be in America, but to be honest, I grow less and less attached to this country. I still I don't know, for me, I just feel like if you live somewhere for a while, that's kind of, your country along with everyone else's, but you should kind of have some integrity, and nationalism gets a bad word or whatever, but yeah, you should have some, I don't know, fight for your country in a way, in some way. You shouldn't just leave when times get tough. So I'm conflicted. In some ways, I feel like I should stay. Now, I got no money whatsoever, just debt at the moment, so luckily not a whole lot, but still. So I don't really have money to go anywhere. I'm in it's a difficult living situation. And so I can't even find somewhere to live because of my finances in terms of the income and the debt. But that's a whole other story which I could talk about as well. But yeah, even if I wanted to leave, I don't have the circumstances that really make it, doable, to be quite frank. The only skill I have is I can kind of talk in another language, sort of very, not that fluently, like beginner level, intermediate kind of. But that's not enough to get you to be a citizen anywhere, I don't think. Uh, it's not the most common language too. I mean, it's it's basically French, so somewhat common, but it's not like English or some other languages. Anyway, yeah, for some reason I'm having difficulty downloading stuff. I'm trying to communicate or share what I want to share and online, and I'm having some technical issues. Don't know what's going on since yesterday. Last thing I need is anything broken, let alone electronics. We'll see. So what I might talk about in the future would be, certain issues, women's issues, definitely, what we're facing as women, in America, but all over the world. Mainly America is what I'm going to be focusing on, domestic issues, that sort of stuff. Finances is going to be a big one, but I've learned, unfortunately, because of the negativity of others, it's not really wise for me to go into a lot of numbers and details about my finances. I don't mind too much, but it is what it is. So when I say finances, I mean generally, the subject. But so there's sort of what I can do is journalistic stuff, I guess you would say. But the issue is I don't tend to get that many views. It's very tough to get folks to as somebody who's just an ordinary individual, to get others to listen to those kind of subjects. It's, tense all over the world. There's kind of a lot of conflict, and many countries, it's the election year, so, folks have had enough of it. I don't blame them. But I tried to talk about it in a very just, the most understandable way, talk about all the views, folks might have about the subject, and bring some humor, make it as uh, engaging as I can. But yeah, I could do that, but I don't think that's going to be the focus, to be honest, because again, it doesn't make sense for me to use all this time and energy and, vulnerability in a sense, just to not get anything out of it. Now I know I do need money at the moment, not gonna lie. So it would be nice if I could gain some sort of, even as a side gig, if it's a very small amount, that's fine, but some way where I can kind of make this a small job or something. So eventually, if I can make money creating some sort of, I don't know, something others like to engage with. Um, that would be nice, something that's flexible, I can do from home, that sort of thing. Because, yeah, I'm just, to be honest, sick of these low wage jobs. I can't really take much more of it. And so I'm trying to look for better jobs, but that may take some time, and of course, living still costs money. Um, so some kind of new news. I guess about a month or two ago, I've gotten some animals that I didn't think I was gonna go this all out and like be sort of this committed, even though I kind of am 1 foot in the door, 1 foot. That saying, however it goes, like I have some hesitancies, and like my mind and about this is sort of, it's too much. Quit, um, kind of in a bit of a frenzy about the whole situation because it's been emotional, and of course cost me money. So yeah, basically I've gotten some animals that I've done what I can for. They're cats. I don't know, just by coincidence. I don't really like to, call them mine or that I own them or anything like that, because they're just creatures. They can do their own thing. I just want to do what I can to see to it that they have their needs met, and whatever I can do. So yeah, I didn't go out and get an animal deliberately. They just literally came to me, and where I live, there's like a backyard, so they'll just come by every few. I don't know, once a day, on average, maybe twice a day, something like that. Most of the day, they're not here. I don't know where they go. Um, so at the beginning, I started with food and water. I tried to do all this research, figure out what they need, and all this sort of stuff. And it just felt fast. Like I went to several animal stores, and then I was there for a few hours trying to ask the staff members, questions and all this kind of stuff. And I think for somebody, again, I haven't had an animal in my life, so I don't really know anything. As far as my own knowledge, I'm just learning. I mean, I know the basics, like obviously animals need food and water, but This is very much new to me. So, yeah, I thought at first dry food. Basically, somebody in the beginning was kind enough to give me a bag. The individual I live with, I think she got it from someone else, but basically the first bag of dry food was free, and then uh, or first container, I would say. Then after that, I bought all the food. So, in general, uh, most of the food that I've been giving them, um, has, I've gotten the items, the food myself somehow. And basically, most of the stuff that, they have that I've given, well, I don't know how to describe it. I'm trying to say that this, basically, as far as I know of, I'm the only human giving them, mostly, besides that one time donation, I guess, if you want to call it that. I'm the only human who's, as far as I know, who's given them food since about a month or two ago. Before that, I don't know. They seem to be, they were friendly relatively quick, but it did take, several hours of, uh, seeing how they would interact. And at first, I had to stay very far away, and, so it was definitely a time investment, but they were relatively quick. Like the first one, within a day or two, you know, she was fine, and I don't know the genders of them, uh, but yeah, the first one, Duke, I'm just gonna call them she, or just interchange the genders. I don't know, but Duke, I think she's an American short hair, from what I would guess. I just Googled breeds of cats and tried to match the image with what they look like. Anyway, first one's Duke, and she was friendly within like a day or a few days. So I don't think she didn't act like emotional or scared, or I mean, she was a little bit, I think, but she didn't freak out hugely. So I don't think, I have a feeling she's had some contact with humans. And then same thing with the second one, Duchess. She's been in contact with, I'm guessing, because her it took a little bit longer, but I don't know, maybe even within a week or something. Same thing. So, and even there's Drew. So there's a third one, and she's still skittish. Like, you can't be too close to her, but like, for instance, there's a fence. If I'm right next to the fence, it's fine. She's gotten used to it. But as long as I'm kind of standing still, I think the thing with all of them in general, but very much so Drew, the third one, uh, it's the movement. You know what I mean? So if she's already on the fence, for example, and I'm walking towards her just normally or even quickly, she'll run away. So she has to. I think for her to be comfortable, she has to be comfortable with what's going on, and like know what's going on. So it's interesting. It's it's starting to exhaust me though, because they they eat around. I think they're most active at night. So just cats in general, but definitely the ones that have I'm talking about that have come to my backyard. They It's not mine, but in the home that I live in, so they are active around midnight or after, sometimes earlier, but definitely late evening. and it's starting to exhaust me because the only way I can like train them is during those times. And like yesterday, um, I was awake until I don't know, a little bit after midnight, and I did not get much rest because they didn't hang around for too long. I didn't know if they were going to come back, and then around like basically a few hours later, I was awake. So um, yeah, I don't feel. It's just tiring. It's messing with my schedule, really, because I've tried everything. I can't seem to get them on a consistent enough schedule. Like, usually they'll come before midnight, but it's like when I get busier, I can't just stay around for, hours and guess. And I'm looking into getting I think I did order, yes, I did, automatic feeder. So I want one where there's like a timer, and then from my device, I can release the food. Um, I don't want to have too much food out there because sometimes a cat can be a bit too greedy than another, and so there's a tendency for the cats to eat either too much or too little. Um, I mean, they're by now kind of generally friendly with each other, but still, I don't think sharing is really a strong suit of theirs. And also, I don't know how I'll handle the wet food because I don't think you can use wet food in the machine. Um, I guess, I don't know. I think I'm just like imagining how life will be, how my life and their life might converge, and the kind of image I have, the scenario might not match with the reality exactly. So we're figuring it out. Anyway, so this leads me to my other idea of what I can, uh, a subject that I can show you guys. So I thought I just subscribed today, and I wasn't sure because I really got no money. And I told myself even before, I have to, the really next major thing as far as budget wise for them is going to be the vets and medical bills. But I think for insurance, they definitely need to see a vet. I did Google, there are vets who do the first consult or whatever you want to call it for free, at least around my area. But then after that, I don't know. So I have no clue how this all works. I know Chewy.com, they have generally good customer service, sometimes excellent, but they have it's like an online business website. They sell animals, not animals, they sell items for animals. And so you can call them, I guess, even if you're not buying them, they've got a number. And if you need insurance for your animals, you can call them and, talk to the customer service folks because they do offer insurance anyway. But they told me that I would have to get them to a vet, like if I buy it, in order for the insurance to be active, it's required for them to, basically they would have to communicate with a vet. And so I would have to, you know, have the cats somehow be comfortable enough to get in the carrier, take them to the vet, and then the vet will communicate with the insurance. And so there's a certain amount of time you have to do all that. Otherwise, the insurance is just automatically going to be, considered canceled. But yeah, I'm trying to tell myself, like, I got my own I don't have money. I've got my own stuff, bunch of bills I have to deal with, debt, So I'm really taking a gamble. But I guess I just feel that it's the right thing to do in the moment, to be honest. Because I just need to try to do anything and, build sounds bad, but a client base or business. Like, I need to find a way to get some money for myself because I don't know how long it will take to find a job. I don't have a vehicle. So um, I've already worked several local jobs. So I'm quite limited as far as the jobs that I can do. Also, I've been having some minor health issues that just seem to be getting slightly worse over time. Lately, literally just about a week ago or something, like I'm used to walking um, for a while, sometimes hours at a time. But even standing for like, I don't know, half an hour or something is a struggle since about maybe a week ago. So, yeah, a lot of customer service jobs, you have to stand. So I don't know if I can take it. A lot of low wage jobs, you have to be able to stand. You can't even, they don't even let you sit down for a few minutes unless it's your break, which most of your shift is not going to be your break. So, um, anyways, with the animals, I thought I'd do, I just subscribed to, I think, what is it called? The Meow box. Uh, there's another one, basically subscription boxes for cats. So that's another idea I could do. I just subscribed so I can show you guys what's in there and just talk about the boxes out there that do exist. Now, I can't get every box, you know, because of my situation. I shouldn't be getting any really, but again, taking a gamble. Uh, so I'm going to be showing maybe very few boxes on film so you guys can see what's inside it and focusing on those. But I can mention and try to find information about other boxes as well. Even, boxes for other animals if that's of interest. So that's an idea that I have. Um, so yeah, I'm just curious, what do you guys think? Because it seems like my when I show items, not hauls, but when I go around the stores and show you guys what's there, I've done Dollar Tree, I've done Grocery Outlet, I've showed the animal section in Dollar Tree. Those have the most views. Um, and what is other? And then of course the stuff with the animals. So that seems to be what is gaining the most. That's what folks are interested as far as what I have to offer. Um, so I don't know if there's anything else you guys want to see, even if it's not animal related. Um, I do subscribe to some beauty boxes, so there's like Allure, BoxyCharm at the moment. So I could show those, but honestly, there's a lot of folks out there who do a lot better job, have better graphics, and uh, all the lighting and the fancy stuff. So I don't know how worth it is for me to do that, to be honest. Um, Other thing I thought of is maybe like those kind of dollar stores or very affordable websites where you can buy so many, various different things. I could do small hauls maybe. Um, I thought it would be interesting to taste test, but there's already many talented individuals already doing this, and they have more tech stuff, more views. But the idea of taste testing new foods, like maybe brands most of us have not heard of, or new seasonal items, I was thinking Trader Joe's, but I know there's many that I've already seen that have done that and do an excellent job. So um, I don't know. I just have to find a niche that not necessarily everyone is doing. So yeah, I think that's about it. So if somebody can tell me what they think about all this, some advice as to what I should be showing. Um, if you do like to watch, listen to my stuff, what do you want me to show to my audience, um, or talk about or whatever? Um, so yeah, that's it. I guess I can show a few things. Um, I don't even know if I'll have the ability. So I did get a cat bed from, both of these are from chewy.com. So that's the site where they sell animal stuff, food, toys, a whole bunch of stuff, mainly for dogs and cats. So I've heard about that, a few years ago, just on commercials and stuff, but I never bought from them. So this is the first time that I've, bought from them. So this is, I don't think you can see it because of the lighting. Let's try going somewhere else. Maybe I've got indoor, just normal lighting. Maybe that's better. Okay. So, cat bed, they call this the self-warming bolster round cat bed. I don't think any of the animals have used it yet. Seems okay quality. It does, size-wise, it's on the smaller size. So I wish it was a bit bigger. Maybe for a small animal it would fit very well, but yeah, I know the animals I have are not going to totally fit inside, but that's okay. One maybe, but that's a stretch. And this is a toy they have. I wish they had a bigger selection of toys, like more choices available. But this is, I forgot what this is called, but it was an interactive toy. I think it was like less than $20. I'm just trying to show you guys the balls fit snugly in there. It doesn't fall out. And that's the look of the overall toy. So far, the animals, the cats do seem to, I know one of them, Duke, has like sniffed around it, and even Duchess. So they seem to be at least a little bit curious, but they haven't really interacted. Now, the cats that have come around, they don't seem to care for toys that much. They like interactive things. They like being able to do stuff, change their routine. They do like, lounging around. Don't get me wrong, but um, yeah, they're just not too into toys, to be honest. They're more into food and treats. So I think the box would be an interesting idea because I'm curious how they would react, because I feel like they would be strong judges of character. Um, they're not going to be easily just satisfied with anything. So yeah. Also with the boxes, I was thinking I would show how the cats react to whatever is inside the box. I do want to. There's one of the boxes that is for humans, not really for animals, but it is cat themed. I think it's called the Cat Lady or Cat Box, or I don't know. I think it has the word lady in it. So that would be interesting to try too. But because it's not directly for the animals and, my financial situation, I'd rather wait, because everything I've charged so far on credit, I know I'm going to get fees and who knows what else. So I'm trying to make at least my initial balance not be too large. Even though I've already, you know, gone into debt for these animals like $1,000, but that's for all of them. Maybe about 800, I don't know exactly. And a few $100s of stuff for myself that I have needed for a while. So, yeah, things have really took a dive financially for the worse. It could be much, much worse, but this is just a very stressful situation. I just wish I knew how I was going to cover all this. Just stressed out. Anyway. And I tried asking for, as I said, you know, donations and, asking neighbors or whoever, like, hey, could you get the animals this? Or, I just tried to ask even just for food, dry food. And there was just no way, you know. So my last thing I could do is essentially buy the stuff with credit. Maybe I should have bought less, but I don't know. I feel like this kind of situation is a little bit unavoidable considering the circumstances. Um, but yeah, I tried everything else. I know going into debt is not, it's not a good idea for this situation. I would not advise to go into debt for animals. I know they are, can be adorable, but no. And I'm already learning that for somebody who's low income, even just the stress and the time that is involved, I would not, I would advise don't get more than, I don't know, maybe 2 animals. And that's already a little bit of a stretch for each individual. I feel like if you're low income, you cannot financially handle, more than that. I see some folks, they've got so many animals, and uh, some individuals, they do say that they did go into a lot of debt. I'm assuming more than I have for my animals, and it's crazy, it's unwise, and you just, it's not a good idea in my view. But yeah, that's what I've learned. I thought I'd do another thing. I guess I can do that. This, I wrote some notes of what I ordered for the animals, for the cats. So, yeah, the names, each one has their own name, of course. So there's Duke, Duchess, and Drew. I don't know, I might change Drew's name, but I don't know. But I wrote down the stuff that I ordered for them. So, the idea was to create a guide that, like a beginner's guide, to give an idea of what I would advise, I guess, just as an ordinary individual. Like if somebody asked me, what should I get? I'm a beginner, what should I get? A cat, I would say these things essentially. So I'll just go through the list, the guide, I guess, if you want to call it that. There's dry food, wet treats, dry treats, flea and tick, something like that. They do have over-the-counter flea and tick stuff. A grooming brush, a cat bed, not mandatory, but it's a nice thought. Scratching tower and or scratching boards, bowls to be used to serve water, and bowls to be used for food. I did learn that it's nice to have a few bowls used for each, because things occur, and very much so if you have more than one animal. Sometimes they don't like to share bowls. Um, and they don't necessarily eat all their food at one time. Um, so then I have litter on there. Um, the litter is not needed for the animals. This is just for yourself, so that you have an area where they can go to the bathroom, and whatever's left, the feces, urine, whatever, is not going to be. You're trying to minimize that stuff going everywhere in your home, for instance, or the larger area, wherever it is they go. Um, so that's what the litter box, the litter, and a litter mat is very essential to use a litter mat, because there could still be stuff on their feet after they use the litter box. Um, of course, they need water. That's free for many. Well, if you live with somebody and they're letting you stay there for free, it's free. But I mean, it's quite minimal, I would guess, if you calculate the cost of, because cats don't drink that much water anyway, so the amount that they're using, I don't know, I'm sure it's less than $20 or something. I could be wrong. You could use a leash if you wanted to, if you want to kind of walk them around. Um, I just thought it might be a interesting activity for others if you guys want to see that. So um, a collar, a harness is not necessary, just like a leash. But again, if you want to do that kind of an activity of sort of walking them around, even though they may be very slow at times, then obviously you need something to attach the leash to, so that's what the harness is for. Um, Toys, as I mentioned, I would go minimal on the toys, because I bought a bunch, and the animals that I have, they just don't seem that interested. Well, I didn't buy a whole lot, but I bought a few, and most of the stuff they don't even, sniff around.